Try to do this again. So crazy. Okay, top on. Hello. Monday is trying to steal my joy. Honestly, this day is craziness. I'm going to delete this other post because it was all sorts of not right. Okay, here we go. Yes, hello, hello. So we're just gonna go off of my own issues that I'm having today, so I can show you or tell you how like I overcome or deal with stuff. Because man, holy schmackin'. So basically, is how this goes down is clear back on Friday. Like actually, I don't even know if it's Monday that's trying to steal my joy. It's actually Friday that's trying to steal my joy. So basically, is what happens is go to work on Friday, super big issue going on that we have to deal with. So team gets together, everything is flowing, but it's just like a lot. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of stuff for me to deal with. So I am having to move all my appointments on Friday evening so that I can focus on my corporate job. And then I'm rescheduling everybody for Saturday and Sunday. So now I'm squashing people in, trying to fit everybody everywhere. So that's just kind of stressful. And then I am having to just run around the next morning. I'm like on a conference call while I'm also driving, or not me driving, but while Dave is driving me to my work so I can drop off some papers, and it's just like all over the place. So I'm trying to stay in control because I can't be personally in my own out of balance state and really work on other people. So getting all that taken care of, everything actually for my day on Saturday worked out beautifully. Like I had a couple people that needed to do their sessions at different times. And so anyways, it all worked out super beautifully. So I was like, ooh, that was great. And sometimes that's how things work out. You can't have life never give you any chaos. That's not how it is being on a state of balance. So sometimes I think we get it in our heads that, oh, if I'm working on myself, if I'm healing, if I'm, reading, if I'm doing exercises as far as like mental goes to try to keep myself on track, and I'm eating right, and I'm doing physical exercise, and I'm sleeping well, and kind of had this expectation that nothing's going to happen to us that's going to set us off track. And the problem with that is when we have an expectation and that doesn't happen, then it sets us back not a step, it sets us back like 10 steps. So always keeping in mind that no matter how balanced you are, no matter how much you're working on yourself, no matter how much you're trying to be a good person towards others, serving people, not talking badly about other people, whatever it is, you're still going to hit bumps because that's just the inevitable part of life. So it's not so much that you're stopping all of that crazy chaos from happening. It's that you're capable of being able to deal with the chaos, and that you can manage what you have going on. So, this morning, more things are going on. So I woke up at, I don't know, like 4 o'clock in the morning. I'm already super behind on sleep just because of puppy. So I'm having to get up and take puppy out to go potty. And now it's like 4 in the morning and I'm getting texts from work about something else that's happening. And I'm trying to sort through it. I'm getting a phone call and I'm like, oh, okay. So then when I get up this morning, I'm like, it seems really late. Why am I not awake yet? And I'm like, man, because I have a really good internal alarm clock. And so I know that it's past time. And so at some point during this chaos, I must have turned my alarm off on my phone. I don't know if I was, because I specifically remember turning it on the night before. So I don't know if I just had like a cup of cheer and I was like, screw everyone. I'm just going to turn my alarm off and not come into work today. But I woke up almost 40 minutes late. So then I woke up, I told Dave, I'm like, yeah. So I'm like, it's late. I got to get up and get ready. So I have it in my mind that I'm like, okay, I'm already late. I'm really tired. And I feel like things are really out of control. So I don't want to stay in this place and I don't want to get in that mindset, because if I do, what am I doing? I'm doing an affirmation that I'm really tired and things are out of control. Therefore, I will absolutely magnify that I am tired and things are out of control. So I start like putting on the brakes as I say, whoa. That's what I do with my horses, right? And I say it out loud. When I'm teaching my horses to stop, not only do I use the physical effects of my hands and my body, because horses can feel your weight really, really easily, right? You're on top of them. So when I tell my horse to whoa and I'm teaching it how to whoa, I use not only my body, so I kind of stop my own body. I get a little stiffer. My horse can feel it. I use my hands, I pull lightly, and I say, whoa. And my horse learns really quick. And I love that because it's three things. So my horse is very much aware of what the command is. But that way, if my horse is ever out of control, starts running away, and I have someone on them that maybe is not so good at knowing, sometimes people freeze up. And so they don't pull back, or you lose your reins, they fall out of your hands and you can't pull back. And maybe somebody's not experienced to know how to stop their body. So I want my horse to know if someone yells, whoa, okay, that means like, woo, put on the brakes. So doing that with myself, like emotionally, here we go. Whoa, okay, stop. Breathing in, what do I have control over right now? What do I have control over? So this morning, what do I have control over? Well, I know I'm late, right? So what can I do here? I can just make sure that I'm making really great effort to stay on track for time. So I'm not spending as much time getting ready. I'm not spending as much time in the shower. I'm not spending as much time doing any of that stuff. So I'm getting ready more efficiently, but I'm also not stressing out over it. I'm just getting ready because I don't want to stress as I'm getting ready, right? And then I have a client who starts texting me that needs some help. And so I'm like, okay, you know what? Let's do this. I'm going to breathe in some beautiful calming energy for my client. And I'm going to also give some of that calming energy to myself. And I'm going to relax. And I'm going to control. And that's how I stop myself from getting into this state of panic. Because if I start focusing and I'm like, I'm so tired and things are going bad, and I start thinking about all the stuff that I have to deal with at work today, I'm going to have a meltdown. I'm going to have a freaking meltdown. I'm going to get a migraine and I'm going to just, I'm not going to be able to accomplish anything. So instead, I'm like, okay, I will take this as it comes. I will accomplish what I can. I will stay in control and do the things that are most important, and anything else that falls off the table today, it's okay. I'm going to accept it. It's fine. And I always go back to this great saying, because when I flew, I always said, okay, is my engine on fire? Okay, no, it's not. Having an engine on fire, having an airplane that's on fire is basically the only thing that we can't recover from. So I'm like, okay, you know what? I'm not flying right now. I can pull over. I can stop. I can take a break. I don't have an engine on fire. No one's dying. Okay, it's good. Okay. And that's how I get myself back into a state of like, all right, I got this. All right, second thing I want to talk about. So this is really cool. We had our boiler. Our boiler's always having issues. So our house works on a system where we have heated water, okay? And the heated water flows through pipes in the flooring. That's how we heat our house, but it's also how we get our hot water. And so the boiler system is really important for us. And we had to replace it a few years ago. And ever since then, it just randomly likes to pop off and have an error. And it gets really irritating to have to reset the boiler, especially because the boiler is downstairs. And so we have to ask someone living in the basement to go reset it. So anyway, long story short, I'm like, okay, you know what? why don't I just do some energy work around the boiler? I'm like, okay, cool. So I start working on the boiler. Boiler is an energy source just like anything else. And I'm like, okay, I want to be able to have the boiler stop popping off. So I do all this energy work, and then a few days later, it hasn't popped off yet, but then Dave comes home and he's like, yeah, he's like, remember this guy from when we used to work at the cemetery that used to come and do the plumbing, and he's done some irrigation work for us here? And I said, and I think I kind of talked about this a little bit the other day, but it's worth recalling. And he says, yeah, or I said yes. And he says, okay, well, I randomly ran into him. And I was like, okay. And Dave's like, I don't know why. I just kind of, was talking to him, and I asked him if he knows anything about boilers, which I thought was weird because he's basically kind of into plumbing and irrigation stuff is what he's done for us before. Not really so much like boiler systems, but the guy has tons of experience in boilers. So he tells Dave, hey, like, tell me what it's doing. Dave's telling him, and the guy's like, oh, all you need to do is turn up the pressure on your system, but you need to make sure that you don't do it too much. So he's like, you can just go to Home Depot, buy this pressure regulator. So we're going to hook it on. You're going to see what it needs to be in your house, and then you're going to set it at this. Keep turning it up till you see it at whatever pressure. And Dave's like, cool. So on Saturday night, the boiler pops off again. And there's a little part of me that's like, self-doubting, because I'm like, man, I did energy work around the boiler, and why isn't it working? And it shouldn't be popping off again because I fixed it, blah, blah, blah. And then I had an impression, and I was like, okay, whoa. You need to realize something, which was a good thing for me too, is that my impression was things don't always work out the way that you think that they will, but they're still working out. And I love that. I mean, that's good enough. You should write it down. Things don't always work out the way that you think that they should work out, but they still work out. So in this situation, okay, maybe my boiler didn't fix itself or, stop doing its thing, but what happened? Working on the boiler, changing the energy around the situation brought someone to Dave that he doesn't ever see, who did what? Provided Dave with a solution to fix the boiler. Sometimes we overlook things. Sometimes we're so focused on this is how I want this situation to work, that we fail to see how it worked out. Maybe your situation is a little different. Maybe you're in the process of buying a house, and the house, you don't get it. Like the contract doesn't get accepted, but maybe it's because there's a better house for you. Same with a job. Maybe you interview for a job and it doesn't quite work out, but then because of that, you apply for a different job, and then that one works out, and that was the right job for you. You can't always tell, right? Because you don't actually go down the track of, you didn't actually buy the house. So you don't know what kind of things could happen if you lived in it, or you didn't actually get the job that you thought you wanted, but maybe the people that work there are just no good for you. And maybe it's just really not the opportunity that you think that it is. So don't always toss things aside, because sometimes we don't understand what's the best or what should work out best for you. And so, we can't see that. We don't know what we don't know. All right, guys. So I'm wearing my resting witch face. We will be having Monday Soul Deliciousness tonight at 6 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. So make sure you can hop on. I'll be live for that. Do I know what we're talking about? Actually, I don't. I think that I had something in mind, and I have no idea what it was, but it'll come back and I'll figure it out. So today I'm going to wear a little bit of a opposite of my shirt. I need to wear unicorn cat socks. It'll just make me feel better. There we go. Still the work stuff. Okay. So I'm wearing unicorn socks. Lisa, trying to lose weight. Definitely, energy healing sessions. There's a lot there. Losing weight can be emotional. Losing weight can be an imbalance with nutrients. Losing weight can be something that doesn't make any sense that needs to be fixed, all kinds of stuff. So Losing weight can be one of those. It's kind of like having issues sleeping. Sometimes it takes a little bit. You got to chip away at it. But you also have to have a good plan in place for what you are trying to do, because you can't just, losing weight is not a magic. And so you have to have a plan in place. So I always tell people, like, what are you going to try to do, right? Obviously, the thing that I'm the best at is keto. That's what I live. That's what I breathe. That's what I do. So that one is the one that I'm like, okay, if you want to do that, that's what I can help you with. But if you come to me and you're like, hey, I'm going to eat lower fat, or I'm going to do this specific thing, you got to have some kind of a plan. Because even if you're, working on balancing out your system, you still have to make some changes. You can't magically just start losing weight. I mean, I've seen it happen for some people, but that's just because their specific issue is probably associated with, they have an eating, what we call a seeking heart energy. So they're eating because it's passionate for them. And sometimes when we clear that out and they replace their seeking heart energy with something else, then it does go away and it super helps. Okay, guys, I hope you have a beautiful day, and I will see you tonight.